In 1600, a group of English merchants formed a trading company to buy spices, textiles, and tea from Asia. Within 2 centuries, that company controlled vast territories across the Indian subcontinent, collected taxes, and commanded a private army larger than many national forces of the time. The company's turning point came in 1757 at the Battle of Plassey, where its forces defeated the Nawab of Bengal. That victory gave the company direct access to Bengal's treasury and trade revenue, according to colonial administrative records. By 1765, the Mughal emperor formally granted the company the right to collect taxes across Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. Reports from the period describe severe famine in Bengal between 1769 and 1773, with historians still debating how much company tax policy worsened the crisis. By the early 1800s, the company governed most of India through a mix of direct rule and alliances with local rulers, backed by an army of over 200,000 soldiers, larger than the British Army itself at the time. Historians widely agree that the East India Company's shift from trader to ruler was gradual, not sudden.
Company records confirm that by 1803, it directly governed large parts of Bengal, Madras, and Bombay, while indirectly controlling hundreds of princely states through treaties. Contemporary British parliamentary debates, reported in Hansard transcripts, show lawmakers repeatedly raising concerns about the company acting as a state within a state. Financial ledgers from the period, reviewed by modern economic historians, indicate that tax revenue collected in Bengal often exceeded what was reinvested locally. Court records from 1772 to 1795 confirm that senior company officials, including Governor-General Warren Hastings, faced formal impeachment proceedings in Britain over allegations of abuse of power during their administration in India. Some historians argue the company's rule brought infrastructure, unified administration, and legal systems that shaped modern India's institutions.
Exact economic figures from this era vary between sources, since record-keeping standards differed across company departments and time periods. Behind the trade routes and treasury reports were millions of ordinary families whose daily lives were reshaped by decisions made in company boardrooms thousands of miles away. Farmers who once grew food for their communities were often required to grow cash crops instead, shifting local food security in ways that historians say contributed to hardship during famine years. Weavers and artisans, once known across the world for fine textiles, saw local industries decline as company trade policy favored British manufactured goods, according to trade historians. These changes did not happen overnight, but their effects reached across generations, reshaping economies long after company rule ended. Think of the East India Company like a modern corporation that was handed a police force, a tax office, and a seat in government, all at once. Today, laws separate corporate power from state power almost everywhere in the world, largely because of lessons learned from cases like this one.
Modern regulators point to the company's history when discussing anti-monopoly laws and corporate accountability frameworks. Here's what we know. A trading company grew into a governing power over roughly 200 years, controlling taxation, land, and a private military larger than many national armies. What remains debated? The exact human and economic cost of that rule, and how much of the region's later development can be credited to or blamed on company policy. What happened next would end this era for good, but not quietly. Following growing public and political pressure in Britain, the Government of India Act of 1858 formally transferred all company territories to the British Crown, ending company rule entirely. Historians continue debating how directly the events of 1857, often called the Indian Rebellion, accelerated this transfer of power. Some economic historians are still reevaluating total wealth transfer figures as new archival records are digitized and studied.
In the end, the East India Company didn't fall to a rival business or a market crash.
It fell because a nation decided no company should ever hold that much unchecked power again. If you want to understand what happened after the Crown took over, watch our next video, How the British Raj Reshaped a Subcontinent.